All right, everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, it is time. I feel like we've gone too long without this. They're just fun to do. I'm talking about another episode of the Salty Batch Files here, and we do have some great turn of events here. A lot of salt being produced in regards to, you guessed it, Starfield and the Xbox community here. So a lot of fun to be had here, and you know what? Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. All right, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is go over the next episode of the Salty Batch Files here, and lo and behold, we have some more news coming from Insider Gaming. They're the first to kind of break this and shed some light into it, but in regards to Starfield now, it's fallen to some really negative reviews. A lot of them have been coming out as of just recent. So that being said, that's going to produce a lot of salt because you got the fanboys out there and the naysayers saying either this is incorrect or whatever the case is, and in some cases, some have kind of changed their tune. 4 months later, they've changed their tune. So a lot of mixed reviews still is the basis, but a lot of very recent negative reviews, and this is mostly from Steam, is how this is being tracked, right? Now, that being said, as you can see here, pop this up before we get to the other salt of it here. Starfield is a new universe, yada yada, all that stuff, but as you can see, mostly negative. Mostly negative. It's 7,584 recent reviews. Now, I know what you're all thinking. This game is on Game Pass though, but yes, not everybody wants to be part of a subscription service. You want 1 to 3 games that you're playing at one time that last you 3 to 6 months, if not more. That's the case. So a lot of people asked for this maybe, or got Steam gift cards, or, you know, however it goes about it. But regardless, this is a lot of bad news in regards to recent reviews, and this is just honest. This has nothing to do with anything else. People that were legit looking to play this game and looking forward to it and seeing if the hype was there. So let's go over our first example here. One of my favorites, of course, good old Peter Ovo. Just your classic Xbox shill here. The Starfield menu is a sign, hashtag Starfield about to score 95 plus Metacritic and be played for 10 plus years. Another generational masterpiece by Bethesda. Oh, how wrong is he there? How wrong has he been on multiple accounts on social media and what he states? This is far from the first, but this is the best part. Eventually, you know, the cracks start to show, right? They start to show, they come out, and as we can see here, the most recent, Peter says, reviews of Starfield on Steam are mostly negative, with the overall lifetime review being mixed. This is troubling and concerns me. It concerns you now. It concerns you now. When you had an entire year that Xbox was dry, knowing the generation was coming up, knowing they needed to do something to produce something, they have a ton of IPs, and they did nothing. But now, it concerns you because recent negative reviews from Starfield, it concerns you. Sure, buddy. Going a little bit further down, as you could probably tell, I think the issue might be that they're stuck in the past in key aspects of their game design. They need to identify what people want and improve it for the Elder Scrolls 6. So now we're back to the classic tried and true Xbox mantra. Just wait. If we just wait, more is coming. Just wait. We got ABK and all that stuff's coming. It's going to be great. The sales are going to be great. Just wait for that next amazing game. It's always just wait with these guys. But the fact that he flipped it and now let's just wait for the Elder Scrolls 6. That's when they can fix it. Before, it didn't matter. It was an old engine for Starfield. Before, it didn't matter. It was going to be generationally done. These guys were supposed to make this game perfect, Bethesda was. Lo and behold, being shifted over to the modders to do something, and most of the modders have bowed out because it's just a boring game. But now, how do you defend it? The cracks start to show. Now, we don't have an update from one of the greatest L takers on a daily basis on social media. We're talking about everybody's favorite dog, Tim Dog here. Now, back when, a lot different now. I'm at a 90 when we are having a Metacritic party. When he's talking about Starfield, nowhere near 90 was this game. Do you think he came back and said anything different in regards to that? No, he's still capping for it to this day. Absolutely to this day. Absolutely incredible how they put all their eggs in one basket all the time. This is the classic mantra. Like I said, hurry up and wait. The next big thing is here. And then disappointment follows. Hi-Fi Rush was a pretty good game, or so I hear. I have not played it. It's a rhythm action game. Not everybody loves those. That's also kind of a niche little title. But it doesn't mean it's a bad title. But for it to come in and be like, this is a reason why you subbed to Game Pass. This is a reason why you own an Xbox. No, absolutely not. They keep putting their foots in their mouth, and you get these fake hype pieces when Xbox usually doesn't deliver. And this makes things that much worse. How do you believe somebody like that? Anyway, so moving on. Let's go to a more newer up-and-comer who's garnered a lot of attention and a lot of sheep to follow them. Darius Fears, as you can see here. There is no absolute way people are upset because of loading screens when it comes to Starfield. Baldur's Gate 3 has hella loading screens as well, and it's the game of the year, but you hear nothing about that. Yeah, buddy, so you're not constantly having to switch between loading screens on Baldur's Gate 3. It's a seamless experience. You can play local co-op, well, at least on the Series X and the PS5 and whatever. Not on the Series S, because all of a sudden the parity clause changed there, isn't that right? So you're going to sit there and just allude it to just the loading screens? That's the only thing wrong with Starfield is the loading screens? Seriously? It's not the dead to lifelike mannequin-esque features of every NPC you come across in that game? It's not the boring missions that you come across in that game? It's not the fact that it supposedly takes you many hours to get into the game? As a matter of fact, a lot of folks say you have to complete the entire story, get to everything after there, and then it ends up being a lot better. And even then, it's still boring to a lot of folks. That is not the loading screens alone, which are an atrocity for Starfield. There's 10 times the amount. It's more seamless in Baldur's Gate 3. You're fighting an uphill battle here when you're going to compare Baldur's Gate 3 to Starfield. That isn't going to fly, buddy. That's a huge L take here, first of all. If you're just apples to oranges in every conceivable way. An actually great RPG versus an actual boring RPG with little to offer, aside from stocking up thousands of potatoes on your ship and letting the physics fall down. If that's your cup of tea for a hell of a great time, then more power to you. But for most of us, we don't care about potatoes. We really don't. Sorry. All right, major L take there. Now, I want to add a couple of different things here as well, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see here, we got a couple others. We're going to go back to more, we had some salt regarding Starfield, but now we have a couple little examples here in regards to Spider-Man again, and we're talking about a couple little salt examples here. Now, J-Rock, another Xbox community enthusiast who constantly spreads misinformation on the daily. This city, open world, is so limited, so much window dressing. So Kira responds, "You are Spider-Man. YTF would you want to ride the subway? Just swing." Exactly. Why are you wanting to ride a subway in Spider-Man, right? This was a classic here. This is back from 21. It's just to pull it up because Spider-Man 2 was scaring these ladies and gentlemen, out of left and right field. They were just scaring them, knowing that sequel's coming and going to be bigger and better. So they bring this up again. Window dressing, you name it. Again, when you are Spider-Man or you're Superman or anybody with any sort of traversal skills that are more fun, whether you're the Hulk and hopping from building to building, I would rather do that than ride a subway train. This is low-hanging fruit and makes no sense whatsoever. Again, the salt exudes from this individual on the daily as well. And then everybody's favorite PC fanboy, Cucktenga, the supposed PC enthusiast turned Xbox philanthropist, if you will. Here we have the example of Tenga stating, "I don't think people still grasp how stupid this scene is. It'd be like a civilian trying to take a bullet for Wolverine." I actually like the comparison here. I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. I really do. However, this is the exact point, as you can see from the Ultimate Ashley. Gamers unable to process what it's like for a woman to actually like them. Oh, man, that is a bullseye right there, especially if you're to Cuck Tenga here. I'm not going to allude. You could probably look up things on why he's called Cuck Tenga. So this just adds a little salt into the wound of the salt that he is transposing here. He refuses to play these watch plays and let's plays and all this stuff, right? Yes, Mary Jane did not have to take the brunt of the force of that impact, but you know what? When you love somebody, when you care for somebody, you don't always think. Your natural instinct kicks in and you try to block something, try to save them from something. That's just how it is. Again, something that this idiot does not understand, this basement dweller, and yes, it looks like he does live in a basement, so a little more salt to the wound there. The baseboard, he shared pictures. Not that I want to pick on this, but it just exudes the personification of what a basement dweller is. And he has it. I mean, this wooden baseboard stuff in the bottom and just the way he does things and how he's just hopped up on Mary Jane for 24/7, which whatever, teach their own for recreational use. I don't care. I don't judge. But it just all fits within that, telescopic, tubular asphyxiation of this is who they are as a person, and just not a good person. I mean, he's been found out to say and do some wild and very nasty things and supposedly changed later on, but obviously he hasn't. He still gets cooked on the daily, still likes to make fun of other people online. So that's why I'm going to make fun of him as well, because he honestly deserves it. He's not a good human being. I don't wish negativity or anything ill on anybody ever, but he's just not a good person. So I don't mind throwing some extra salt in the wound of this hopped up, maidenless, wannabe gamer. But anywho, I thought that was perfect, and what a great way to end that there. I wanted to get some more here for you guys, but I think those are some prime examples without making this extremely long or something like that. Again, really fun to see how, unfortunately for the player base and unfortunately for the devs of Starfield, but the fact that, it's always been a mid-game, if not less. We've been trying to say that. Fanboyism aside, we've been trying to say that. And a lot of folks out there are salty all over the place because of that, because they live and breathe everything that a certain company tries to push out regardless of the quality. And that's what you get, is more salt. And we will always have that salt, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I think we're going to have that lasting power of Spider-Man salt as well, because it is one of the best superhero games, if not the best superhero games of all time. And we're going to continually get that salt as time goes on. More to come from Wolverine, I'm sure, in the future. So, that being said, thank you so much for hanging around for this episode of the Salty Batch Files. As always, please comment down below. Would love to hear from you. Helps out the algorithm tremendously. If you have not already, definitely consider helping out a small content creator like myself and giving a sub there if you would be so kind. And, of course, one of the last things I want to say, of course, don't be a salty batch. That being said, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. We will see you next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.